This is the a new modification I'm just doing to the printer. It's these aluminium sort of support arms, and I'll put a link in the descriptions to the people who make these. Main reason for adding these is to try and stiffen up the Z carriage. The stock arms are plastic, probably ABS, and I have noticed that on long prints they will actually drop a tad. It's not much. I'm finding at about 2 hours I'm needing to raise the build plate probably about a quarter of a turn, and you probably wouldn't notice it if you're printing at quite a high layer height, say 0.2 or 0.3. You probably wouldn't even need to bother adjusting that during the print, but if you're printing at like 0.1mm or 0.05, which I've been doing last week, you really need to keep an eye on it. So some of the guys on the MakerBot operators Google group have been fitting these and seeing some significant improvement. I'm not really wanting to upgrade too much more on the on this printer, but these were reasonably cheap. So I thought I'll give them a go. Not much to lose, not going to add much weight to the carriage. So yeah, so they came efficiently. Like I say, I'll put a link to the website where I got these from. They come with some instructions, nice anodised, that goes with Carl's anodised XNs and stuff, so it's just nice. That keeps the colour theme going. Tolerances seem very good at first glance on the aluminium pieces. Only thing I'd point out perhaps might not be an issue, but looks like they bent the sheet metal aluminium. This 2mm aluminium, and they bent it up with a very very tight radius. I'd normally bend something that with a 2mm radius, and also they haven't put any bend reliefs on the folds. So yeah, you can see, you know, a crack forming in those areas. Possibly might not be an issue with this. You can actually see a little tinsy crack forming on some of these issues, and I'm sure that could have been avoided by just increasing the radius. Then again, increasing the radius might have meant that the fit wouldn't be as good as it is. So yeah, this swings and roundabouts with much of the stuff when you actually go into a little bit more depth. So yeah, overall, very happy with the actual folded aluminium pieces. Seem very very stiff, and I'm just going to go through and fit them now. A couple of blokes here on the group there, I might just watch out when you fit in these two machine screws at the top here. Don't put too much pressure on them, else they'll cause the Z carriage to bind on the bushes, the stock bushes. So I just need to watch out for that. I think what I'll be doing is actually taking the build plate off, because I also want to do is another. Just before I fit the sport arms, I thought it might be useful to see how much the deflection there is with the stock setup. So what I'm going to do is just hold a ruler on there and just apply some pressure on the arms and just see how much deflection we get. So you can see I'm putting. It's quite easy to get to 2.5mm deflection. It's not hard at all, and just tapping on it, you can see the vibrations. I'll zoom in a bit more. Right, so we'll see how much we can get in both axes. So we go negative and positive. So you got pretty easy to get 1.5, 2mm, and we go the other way. Really like the same. If I look at the actual arm, it looks like it's flexing. I'm just going to hold the background to see if I can feel any movement in those. The flexors I push down here, I can't really feel anything. And I think it's literally the arm, the moment of the arm. Hopefully that's what I focus. This sort of section of the arm. Let's get the video down there. Okay, so I've just dropped the camera so we can have a look at the flex in the arm. And again, I'm just going to push down there. And to me, it looks like it's flexing along this length of the arm. There's quite a lot of moment on there. Yeah, it's not that hard to get to flex. Like I said, as this heats up as well, I've been finding that it drops ever so slightly, equivalent to about a quarter of a turn on the adjustment knobs. So I'm just looking at the top here as well, see how it flexes as I'm pulling and pushing. And you can see some movement over here. Yeah. So we'll see what happens when we put the aluminium support arms on. Okay, so I've dropped the heat bed off. And I'm just going to do the 2 screws. You've got 2 screws you need to undo here. Machine screws, one there, and then drop that on, the bracket on, and then fit it with the 2 long screws, countersunk, and supplied with the kit. And I've got these little grub screws here that need to be fitted in there and there. So first, I'm just looking at it now. I'm just a bit worried unless we can actually fix it firmly here that the flex will continue, because there is a little bit of play in the assembly which there needs to be to get it on. And when you press down on this end, the movement takes up the slack in the play before it sort of bottoms out, as it were. So I'm not really sure how this is all going to work, so we'll see. Okay, so I've just fitted it, but I just removed it again. There seems to be quite an excessive amount of movement in it all, even with aluminium supports on. What I can see is there's actually quite a lot of backlash in the Z. And I know Carl said a while back not to worry about it, because I think it was Carl, because the build plate's on weight anyway, so you can't really feel, you won't really sense the sort of backlash in the print, because it's always going to be on weight, so it's always, that backlash is always going to be taken up. It might have been Dan that said it, I can't recall. But just to show you how much there is, I'll just zoom in a bit. Hopefully that's all in focus. So hopefully you can see here. So I'm just pressing right next to the Z. So it's just the nut, I don't know what you call them, but the nut that drives, the thread drives. There's quite a lot of backlash. I expect that's normal, but I can't see how that would. I'm just wondering whether that causes problems when the printer's printing fast and you've got everything moving, accelerating and stopping, because that movement's going to translate into upwards and downwards, which is going to sort of translate into that. So yeah, it's not nice at all. I didn't realise how bad it was really until taking it apart. So I think for the test, you know, I was just putting my weight on there, so that's what we're looking to see if we can get these arms along this edge here. Immediately what I've noticed is, because there's quite a lot of play in the parts in this plane here, when you move down, the slack isn't taken up straight away because there's a bit of a gap, and when you put the little grub screws in there, you don't want to over tighten those because you'll distort your Z and cause binding. So I understand all that. So I'm going to just drop it all back on again, and I'll show you what's what with it. Okay, so I've just put it all back again. With the little grub screws here, I've just literally done them up. Don't know if you can see, there's a slight gap. The slight gap at the top here. Yeah. So I've sort of done them up so they act like almost a spacer. It'd be really nice if it was more of a mechanical fix on this, because this is where the strength is in the assembly, obviously. And when you rock it, it's just going to move this all down, and then this bit here rocks. So ideally you'd want to fix down here and down here, which you can't really do without, I expect, screwing up your Z carriage and binding. So I've literally just I put some blue thread lock on it. Whoops. Hopefully you can see that. Just blue thread lock on it to keep those grub screws in. Because like I say, they literally just, I've just taken up the space and just done them so finger tight. Yeah. I'll see how I'll get on with that really. It seems better. We'll see when I do the measurements at the end. So I'll just do the other side quickly, and then we can carry on. Okay, so I've just done the other side. Very, very easy to install. Just take care when you're doing up your screws, because it's all plastic, and there's like a floating nut in the back that you locate into, and as you're screwing up, you'll hear the plastic start to crunch. So you can't torque them up crazy. Obviously just take a little bit of care there. And again, I've only just nipped these up, literally, just a little bit more than finger tight really. So I've gone until I felt the plastic and just gone a little bit further. It feels stiffer, yeah, just definitely feels stiffer. But I won't really know until I get the build plate all back on again. Like I say, the backlash is still there. There's not a lot I can do about that. I'm not sure if you can fit another nut on there. I'll have to look into that, because that might be worthwhile doing. But no, yeah, I'm pretty happy with these at the moment. So yeah, it seems to have made some difference. We'll have to see when I put the glass build plate back on. See how we get on. Right, okay. So the brackets are installed. I'll just do that same test that we did at the beginning, so you can see. I think there is an improvement. I'd say it's going down to probably about 1 mil now. Yeah, it feels a lot stiffer. It definitely feels a lot stiffer. So it is help. It is going to help. There's still kind of play in that axis, but the up and down is definitely a lot better. Yeah, so it's a worthwhile. I can see there. Really a worthwhile upgrade. I think it was like £28 in UK money. I'll put a link to the upgrade in the descriptions of the video for anyone who wants to try it. So yeah, let's get it all back together again and get printing. See how we do. Okay, cheers.